Check, check, 1, 2.
Check, check, check.
Check, check, 1D, 2D, 3D, 5D. Okay, very cool.
Can they hear us?
Yes, they can. Here we go.
Hello. I didn't know we
Bring
were.
this down a little bit.
I didn't realize we were happening so soon.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Here we go.
As you can tell, it's morning for us. We have our Dunkin' Donuts.
Coffee at 7 p.m. Cold brew. Not just coffee. Cold brew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me get comfortable. What are we going to talk
We
about?
got quite the chat lined up for you today. Hello, hello. We got someone on here.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome in. Okay, so I've been actually wanting to do this live because I want to talk about Tartaria and Flat Earth, and then you wanted to do a live and you wanted to talk about realities within realities, and it seems like it's all the same conversation.
Potentially.
What's up, Groovy Tulips?
Hello, Groovy Tulips.
Hi.
I love that your friend resonated.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. I liked seeing that.
I hope that's okay that you shared that with us, because now if she sees this one, might have just ruined something.
No, but that's cool. It's cool that you told us about it.
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay.
I don't exactly know where to start. It's interesting, right? Because for example, I was watching Alex Jones. She's the one I would expect to resonate. Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I'm glad she did.
It's awesome.
It's really cool. I just happened to watch an Alex Jones clip. It was probably 45 minutes long. It was a segment. And he had on Eddie Bravo and David Weiss, who's the Flat Earth guy, Flat Earth Dave,
mm-hmm. He's got the app.
who some people say is controlled op and is stupid. I don't think Eric Dubé likes him. There's all this beef. This beef.
Fake
in
beef.
The,
it's like, what's the
Flat
fake
Earth
beef?
Circles.
It's Beyond Meat. That's their beef.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an Impossible Burger.
Yes, exactly.
But anyway, the Flat Earth guy was on with Eddie Bravo, and Eddie Bravo's a Flat Earther, and they were on Alex Jones, and Alex Jones hates Flat Earth. He also hates Tartaria. And he was talking about, he was like, so how come I can see in my telescope Jupiter spinning? I sit out there, crack a couple beers, and I can see Jupiter spinning, and I can see the moons go by. And David Wife's like, well, it's I can't exactly do his voice, but it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. A little nasally.
Well, Alex, all we see is lights in the sky. They're just lights. I don't pretend to know what they are. They're just lights. And then, Eddie Bravo's just crazy as always. So it was kind of a clusterfuck, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because when people get into like debates about the specifics of Flat Earth or Tartaria, I don't care as much. But I think we are almost ironically Flat Earthers and Old Worlders. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Don't tell Emil that. He'll be
too excited, yeah.
No, upset.
Oh, upset. But I think we're kind of, we hold it loosely, and it's a little bit funny.
Yes.
Like I don't know that we take it or ourselves very seriously. Right.
Yes. And you're supposed to. Those are other.
You're very supposed to. They're very serious pockets.
It's the same thing as spirituality. The
it
spiritual
is very
people.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also don't take most spiritual ideologies very seriously, but it's a little bit different in that when it comes to history, I no longer know. When it comes to like cosmology, I no longer know. And I've kind of suspended my need to be right or to know the truth about things that ultimately I think are impossible to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really get in there and you question things, and I think this is why we would like half jokingly, but also not call ourselves flat earthers and like, oh yeah, we love Tartaria and all of that, and made the fucking Justin Bieber parody, Muddy. It's like we're more than willing to have those, all of the negatives of those archetypes and those like stereotypes.
Yeah.
From like, yeah, that's fine. You know, you can call us stupid or like it's just fucking mental illness and you guys are crazy and you spend too much time on Twitter and you know, again, I can make all those jokes and I don't mind any of that stuff. But there's threads in there that seem to matter a lot, that I really do care about. And I think the things that I do care about within Flat Earth and Tartaria circles are very different than the things that they care about and the things that they're putting forth. Like they want to talk about the actual dates of these buildings. Like when were the Capitol buildings built and were all these fire stories just nods from the AI that's been writing all of the narratives from the last reset? Like were we inheritors of this land, not builders of civilization, right? And I think they're all interesting questions. And you go into some of the old historical narratives, and it's like, man, that is really weird that there were 4 fires in this place, and all of these buildings, they were built in like a year, and they didn't have power tools. It was just all horse and buggy, and they brought like 1 million pounds or 1 million tons of marble hundreds and hundreds of miles away, and they did it all in a year and built it, and it's still here today. Like that's a weird story. And then the stone burnt down 4 times, you know, and it's like this is the 4th building of the same name in the same place, built by David and Sons Davidson, but the architect's name was also David, and the person who lit the fire's name was David, and his uncle's name was David. It's like there's just some weird stuff about the stories, really weird things. And I like watching the videos, but I don't know that I have any fixed sense of history anymore. Like, I don't know that I 100% believe the old world narrative. And there are some things where I'm like, I don't completely know that I believe that, but I don't feel like I have the answer, and I don't know that it's really mine to go seek out the answer. Do you know what I mean? And I feel the same with Flat Earth. Like, I got to a point where I was like, oh, I see enough of the perspective that I can see why people believe it and fight for it, and why they've invalidated all of like modern astronomy, like why they think NASA's bullshit. Like I understand the perspective enough that it kind of puts me into this place of like disbelief with the mainstream narrative and with mainstream academia. But like that's about where I stop. And I think that's, I don't know, there's something in there and like around that resting place for me that then I think connects to that idea of realities within realities and things that we ultimately do care about. Because I think the exploration of Flat Earth and Tartaria and all the things you're not supposed to search and all the things that are bad and stupid and wrong and conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories and all, that exploration felt really important. It felt really guided. Like, I feel like our intuition called us into these pockets to learn about them. Like, I don't obsess over things that I'm not really deeply called to. And I obsessed over both of those pockets. So, like, for weeks, I would just keep going and going and going and learning and learning and learning. And there was never a point where I was like, this is irrelevant for me to learn. There was never a point where it was like, this isn't something I should be doing, or I'm just wasting my time, or I've been duped by, you know, there was never that like internal warning signal. It was just like, yep, keep going. This is it, keep going. But once I arrived at like the threshold of knowledge that just kind of seems arbitrary, honestly, just some arbitrary threshold of like, you've seen enough, then it just goes away. And it's not that it resolves, and it's not that I really know like, oh, well, you know, it's about the black rock up at the North Pole in Antarctica, and here's how the system works, and here's why the moon looks that way in the sky. And it never really got to all of those nitty-gritty details, and I don't know that it needed to, but it feels like it connected to something much deeper for me, which is that sense of like, this place is dark, this place is controlled. And those themes seem to be validated in all of those pockets. Like, our system is very made up. It's imaginary. And our history is architected in a certain way to shape our psychology, not just to very plainly and accurately state the facts. And like these things become more obvious the more you go and look into all of these pockets. And those are the things that I was feeling from the start. And I think those are the things that got more validated, is that we are living within a reality within a reality. Like the base reality here, I don't think is some simulation on some like alien's computer. I think God built this place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are in the place that we're trying to get to. Like, I think this is where as souls we want to be. I don't think we're stuck here, or we're locked up here and we're trying to get out to heaven, or we're trying to get out to another place that's even better, or we're trying to get to a new earth. I think this is the place where our souls were called, and we're called to make this place better. It's just unbelievably emotionally hopeless and unbelievably difficult to do anything good here. Like, we need God to do anything of substance here. Like, all of that feels like my takeaway from Flat Earth and Tartaria, which is weird because that's not the core message of the ideology.
Right. Yeah, I could see where it could get to that place. Like when we got into like the aliens and we went to Contact in the Desert.
Yep. Disclosure.
Yeah, it was all about disclosure and all these weird middle-aged people in their lawn chairs.
Yep. Talking about specific species and
they're like upset that the
events.
Government hasn't disclosed that aliens are
Roswell, 1947. Here's the exact things that were found, and here's these classified documents through a Freedom of Information Act request. We were able to locate the exact location of the. It's like that shit for just like 12 hours a day.
I know. Not my favorite.
And then at night we go to David Wilcock and he's like, so probably within the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a massive 10 days of darkness, and then we're going to ascend into rainbow light bodies. And we just got to watch out for the blue avians because
he did say that. I was like, what? We are not ascending into rainbow light bodies.
Yeah. I think he still thinks that's the end game. Just fascinating.
That was the first time, though, that I heard. That was 2017. That was the summer of 2017. That's the first time I heard about Pizzagate. Because there was supposed to be disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, there was like some sort of bombing at the Manchester Ariana Grande concert.
Yep.
It was like the exact same like time. Like
they were like a picture with David Wilcock, and in the picture, I'm talking about the bombing. We're both smiling. I'm like, did you hear about the Ariana Grande bombing that happened? It seems to be like a distraction, huh? What do you think? And he's like, yeah, I think that's... We're like smiling and talking through our teeth for the picture.
So yeah, I was on the other side. I didn't hear it. But yeah.
Hey, Danny.
So crazy. Hi, Danny. I went to say hi before. And then I wanted to get to Sarah's question. This studio light that we have is so bright, by the way.
But it looks good. We look good today.
But it's messing with my circadian rhythm.
That's probably true. But so is the fucking coffee. We kidding?
Fair. Okay, so is information from textbooks and encyclopedias pre-AI ever discussed?
All over the place.
Wait, I don't understand the question. Is there even a pre-AI?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, that's the thing.
I think AI has been around way longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you get into those pockets, there's no real sense of when the last reset happened, but people think it happened sometime between like the early 1800s and like into, some people think it was later, like 1860 or 1870 or whatnot, that there was a massive reset. And what ended up happening was
Would you say 1850?
Yeah, 1850. Love the way they built it. Spires up at the Zeppelin, babe. But the idea is that America was fairly desolate, and there were the founders, and they were essentially all working under a really organized effort to repopulate this new land with orphans. So there's this big talk about orphan trains, and that they took it's actually wild. You look at the statistics of like people in mental institutions and people in orphanages, and you look at the old mental institutions and orphanages, and they're all those huge, like so elaborate. Like, it makes no sense.
Why would you put the psychotics in like
gorgeous, like huge
detailed
stone castles that are these mental institutions and orphanages, and then the rates of institutionalized adults and of orphans like falls off a cliff. But around that time period is when they're saying that the reset was likely to have happened, and they used some sort of AI to rewrite history, and you can still see some remnants of it because AI, is kind of dumb, and it does like lots of repeat weird things, and it reuses lots of narratives yeah. So there will be like, it'll be like Mary Mary was the daughter of like Mark, and they built St. Mark's and St. Mary's like thing, and the architect's name was Mark, and his daughter's was named Mary, and it's like there's so many people named the exact same thing, and it's always like some random architect and his brother, and they got their first gig when they were like 23, and they just happened to get it, and then they built this palace.
That's the only thing they built too.
Yeah, it's like they built this palace, and they never went to school for architecture. They just landed the job, and then they built this thing, and it's still standing today, and it's like glorious. There's lots of weird stories like that where you're like, that is weird. When I really think about the logistics of that is a weird story, and I don't know if that's how things actually went down. But yeah, so I guess that's the idea, is that at some point there was a reset. So it is hard to tell. Yeah, is there a pre-AI textbook or encyclopedia? And we were talking about the same thing actually with the Bible, and this is kind of unrelated, but also exactly related. We when we talk about the Bible, we talk about how it seems like it was changed or manipulated. Like if it ever was light, it seems like the collection of texts is not what it used to be. And maybe it was just always dark, right? And that's what's hard for me to at least parse through. And we talk about this all the time. We go back and forth on it. Does the Bible have any source of light whatsoever in it? And is the God of the Bible just dark as fuck? And is it's like we go back and forth and we discuss these things and try to parse through it and feel through it. But one of the main arguments against that idea that Christians have today is, well, the Bible was never changed because the Dead Sea Scrolls, because you can go back and you can find the same text back in the day as you find today. You go to the Dead Sea Scrolls and you read the Hebrew, or you read the Greek, I forget what it is in, or the Arabic, whatever it was translated, and I don't even remember the story. But you read the Dead Sea Scrolls and then you read the modern King James Version, and they're almost word for word. So it was never changed, which means that it is the Word of God, and that. But it's like, how long ago was it changed? Like, what if it was changed before the Dead Sea Scrolls? Or what if it was never light? Like, what if it's popular today because it was meant or designed to be popular today? Like, there's lots of questions that I don't think we would have ever asked if we didn't get into these pockets. I think like we've learned to become incredibly skeptical of collective truth.
Everything.
And as destabilizing as it seems like it would be, I feel fine about it.
I know. Do
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like looking in from the outside, it's like, ooh, I couldn't go there. That's like, I couldn't question space, or I couldn't question my favorite course in college, astronomy. Loved it.
I ruined that.
Miriam became a flat earther and ruined my favorite college elective.
I'm not even a flat earther. I'm a dome within a domer. That's Scout's honor. Like that's
awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's old pictures.
We're for sure in a dome, and then there's it gets bigger.
Other land.
There's more.
Yeah, that's definitely a model. That's certainly a model.
That's what I get when I check in. Like that, and those maps too resonate with me the most. When there's more land, that makes so much. That's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. See, when I see those big maps, to me that is like metaphorical. Like I don't think that that's water that you can sail a boat on.
Oh, you're very deep. What the heck do you mean?
So the maps are like there's a dome here, and we're somewhere in the middle of the map. And then there's other domes outside of it. So you get outside of the ice wall and outside of the dome, and then it's water everywhere. And then there's other domes that are all, you've seen those maps. Is that what you're talking about?
Mine's more like Russian dolls.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's not like there's all these separate domes and then there's water in between.
Okay. That's one of the maps.
Oh, okay.
But then I have also seen that the dome, and then there's ice wall, and then it's not that much bigger.
Right.
And then there's another.
Yeah, there's like a little channel to be able to get through in the ice wall to go to more land.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
But yeah, I kind of see like the Pop-O-Matic bubbles from that game Trouble. But it's like Russian doll-esque.
I've also seen maps where
But I don't think there's a map for that. The dome
there's-
within the domes.
I've seen.
Is
Well,
that
I'm
a map?
picturing
I
a
don't know.
map. I'm picturing a map
Okay.
that I've seen very recently that's similar to that.
Oh, hi, Carol. I'm so excited to see you
Hello.
live and Flat Earth. Wow.
Oh, I know. It's quite the discussion. We've gotten into a lot of this stuff over the years.
Yes.
A lot of this stuff.
Sure have.
And again, I think we hold it very loosely.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
Very, very loosely.
I can't be dogmatic about it.
No. And even
It's
when we
just
were
not
first exploring
thing.
it, like we had to clarify so many times because I think we've always been like teachers, and we've been pulling through all this material for so
I'm
long
not a teacher.
that we got into. Yeah, you are.
You're a teacher.
And we got into this rhythm. What's up, Ben? We
Hey,
got into this
Ben.
rhythm of like
B-dub.
we're putting out a doc a month and we're talking about the latest thing, and then like that kind of slowed down, and then we were like, so guys, we've been exploring flat Earth, and there was like this. I think there was this like very one way, like we're bringing through stuff, and then we got to flat Earth, and then we had to clarify. We were like, you guys don't have to be flat Earth.
Oh,
like, we're
yeah.
just
Well, because
exploring
Emil
this.
had a
Like, we have-
meltdown. Emil,
we have-
Emil, where are you?
We have interests outside of
Emil had
only
a
bringing through things.
meltdown.
Yeah, Emil hated it.
He was
Hated it.
very offended.
Yeah. He was like,
Emil-
I wanted to leave.
Sound off in the comments, Emil.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's like, you guys started exploring flat Earth, and
I know.
I felt unsafe.
Yeah.
I did not want to be here anymore. Because if I wasn't a flat earther, would you guys kick me out? Should I just leave before you kick me out?
It's like,
Yeah, it was funny.
I guess my stance.
Oh, you're here.
Yes, I knew it. I could summon him in.
That's awesome. I
literally
literally
just
just turned on.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, Emil. I knew I could count on you.
It was perfect timing.
I know. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my only stance on anything, I guess, is like I think the thing about flat Earth and Tartaria, less so with Tartaria, but
Yeah.
because you see Tartaria with your physical eyeballs when you
Yeah.
go to your downtown
Yeah.
square, your Masonic square, like you can see that there's mud flooded buildings, like it's undeniable. But anyway, I mean, maybe not in every part of the country, world, but you know what I mean. But I guess my whole point is that I want people to be willing to break the things we've been taught.
Yeah.
Like the willingness to go there, I think is cool. I guess that's.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I don't care if you're like, no, it's definitely a globe, Miriam. I'd be like, well, to each his own.
Yeah. I mean, we've watched a lot of flat Earth and Tartaria stuff, and like alternate history, like alternate narratives on World War II. Lots of stuff. Hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, ever since
Europa was interesting.
2020, really, we've been exploring it like crazy. Well, even when you're up in the airplane, it doesn't look like globe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Mhm. I know.
And people will say that they see the curvature from the planes, but the planes themselves also have distortion to them. Like when you're landing on the runway, there's an obvious curve in the runway itself. It's funny. There's lots of
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah.
I know. I like commenting on like famous Instagram people when they're on their PJ, their private jet, and like looks flat.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just kind of fun. It's one
Yeah.
of my.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy. Well, it makes me uncomfortable, but I enjoy being outwardly a flat earther, conspiracy theorist, crazy person. Like I enjoy that archetype.
Well, I think it's also because we do hold it loosely, so it's easy to like. It's easy. I think the holding it loosely part, because like I don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I take it more seriously than I take the globe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's just odd because there's a structure of authority, right? And when you're a smart person, when you identify as smart, you believe what is smart. And you find out what is smart through external authority.
Through school.
So it's weird because the smarter you are, the more you outsource your belief systems. Right? It's actually very odd that our definition of smart equals more brainwash.
David and I we were going to go fishing today, but we didn't. So we were heading towards Boston, And like all the little towns along the way are like, they get more and more affluent and like more and more blue, even though it's already blue.
Oh, it's wild.
But there's the trans flag, there's the gay flag, there's the non-binary flag. Is that what it was?
Yellow, white, purple, black.
Yes.
Flag.
And then their next door neighbor has the American flag. And then there's like Harris Walls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe these things exist in real life.
I think it is walls because I thought it was funny because all the Democrats are voting for the walls now.
Well, right, which is just shows
Build that walls.
It shows you the scripted nature of everything and how it's all entirely made up. Yeah. Like literally, jokes on you. Intentional. True, I truly believe that. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it's just weird, but it's like it's where all of the like wealthy, smart, educated people live, and it's nuts. And they're in their Teslas and previously
so many Teslas,
masks. Like I remember,
there's probably like 1 in 20 cars were Teslas. We saw today.
Yeah, that was not the case when we were here in 2019.
No. We saw maybe 3 out of like. I mean, if we saw 3 in a day, it was a big deal. We would count every single one we saw.
We never even saw that many.
Not when we first got here.
Yeah, in 2019 when we first lived here that round. But they were everywhere in California. And then we came here and there was like none. Mm-hmm. Yeah, now they're everywhere.
Yeah, we used to count them and we would get
points.
Well, we'd get dollars. It was what, $10,000 per Tesla?
Yeah.
And we called it our abundance tally, and we were helping to manifest our life with a Tesla.
Yeah, that never happened.
So that we could live inside of a EMF box.
Yeah, and be radiated around, to death.
And tracked and traced every single where we went. Yeah, that was our dream back then.
Yeah, that was our dream.
Really
and then for just our car to just be shut off at any time because we said something bad on social media.
Yeah. Well, not yet, but we wanted to be prepared for that time.
Right.
We wanted to make sure that they could shut us off if they wanted to.
Exactly.
Not that they would.
No, never. Why would they do that?
Because we're good people.
Exactly. Yeah, that manifestation never came to fruition.
No. And I mean, how long do you think we did that?
Oh,
6 months, a year?
Months.
It was a very long time. We'd be like, yeah, we got like $1.2 million today in Teslas because we would see so fucking many.
Oh, Mr. Tommy likes the globe. Oh, Tommy.
Mr. Tummy. It's yellow text right on my yellow arm, so it's hard to see. Google
That's
ordinance
racist.
pamphlet.
Don't say you're yellow.
I can say I'm yellow. I have that right as an Asian American. Pamphlet 770, 16-inch range table, U.S. Navy gunnery, aiming tables that account for Earth curvature. So you're saying that we are stupid? Is that? You might have missed the part where we hold all this very loosely.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right, Mr. Tummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't fucking matter. Well, because you know what? It's not relevant to our own personal life and our own growth, our own spiritual growth, our own evolution, where we're going in life, what matters to us, like on a deep soul level. It doesn't matter the shape of the earth, where we are, the mud floods, the resets. Like it's just the knowing that we've been lied to and massively deceived for eons. Like we were born into a place that it was just built on lies.
Yeah.
And it's been generational.
Yes. And for me, it's about being ideologically consistent, right? Because there are a lot of Christian people who believe that this world is run by Satan and his demons, and then who also will go to bat for every single bit of the narrative. And that to me is odd. It's odd to think that our world is run by darkness, but at the very same time, everything we see is secular and it is physical and it works this way. And you must know history in this manner because it is the way things are. It's an ideological inconsistent.
Right. 100%. Yeah. I couldn't hardly even listen to what you were saying.
What do you mean? What do you mean, honey?
Just now. Cause I like blacked it out. I know what you said.
Okay.
But the ideological inconsistency, you're mouthing it for me, so I say it right.
No, I said
Oh.
it weird like 4 times.
Oh,
That's
well,
yeah, I sounded like a
that
retarded person.
the ideal, like Mr. Tummy here,
Yeah.
Globetard. I think the best defense against the liars is to do the work yourself. Smiley face. Okay, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like you.
Yeah, I don't know what page you're on, but we seem like we're on different pages here. That's all right. That's
Okay,
all right.
we're just not friends. Okay. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. But the ideological inconsistency that you were talking about, I couldn't even hear it because I was like, no, it doesn't even work. It doesn't work to believe that this place is run by demons, but then believe the Bible and believe all the rule sets and do the good person thing, but not see that the good person thing is a made up rule set by darkness.
Yeah.
It's so
I know.
just
I know.
It's so tangled.
It's mind-boggling.
See, I see this place. It's so, I don't know how to exactly talk about it, but I wrote a little bit about it on Instagram, being.miriam. It's fleeting. It'll be gone tomorrow. But I wrote a little bit about it. And basically, I think we live in this reality that is, I don't even know. Perfect. There. Okay, so we live in this reality that it's not really real. And I'm not saying that it's a hologram or that it's a whatever. I don't know what people say. Simulation theory, or we're in the mind of an AI demi-lord Gog, whatever. I'm not saying that. I just think the construction thing that we live within isn't God. It's it's like we're in this web. That's really the only way I see it, is a screen, it's tight. We live in this it's like a dome within. Speaking of the dome within the domes, but this is more of a
ideological.
And it's a field. It's a field of energetic thoughts and ways of being. It's psychological, and it's also physical, because we live in these homes that are plain Jane homes. They're not inspirational. They're not made out of the materials that they could be made out of, because those materials are expensive. There's all these expensive, that whole idea, and money, the days of the week, the way we do things, working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, working online, doing a job that you don't even like, but it's just what you got to do. You got to pay your taxes. You gotta.
Yes.
That to me is all constructed by darkness.
Yeah.
Why do you have a smirk on? A smirk on.
I don't know. You want me to get my smirk off?
Wait, why are you smirking?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So that.
Yeah.
But I think this is hard to talk about. It's looking at you. You keep smiling. Why are you so happy?
Oh, I don't know. It's just fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
Why are you so happy?
I like it. I enjoy this.
Okay.
I really enjoy this.
Okay.
Sounds like Smirnoff.
Sounds like Smirnoff Smirkoff. Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I mean, I'm tracking 100%. I know exactly what you're saying. We have very, very similar belief systems about what this thing is. But
I don't know how to explain it in a way that makes sense.
You say that every time, which makes me think that you have more than I have heard from you on it. But okay, Probably. So here's the way that I understand what you're saying. There is base reality here, which seems to be something that's created by God. That seems true, in that God seems to have a part in nature and the natural processes of this place, like the structure and design of flowers and however this thing came to be, whether it was through whether it was life was seeded and through some process of guided energetic evolution, God drove this place into this state, or whether it was brought into manifestation physically. I don't know, but it seems as though God has a hand in this place in its purest form, without any human intervention whatsoever.
Yes.
on top of that reality, and it's not like cavemen and animals and we're retarded and then suddenly we get super smart and then we
Right.
build all of this, and it's natural and organic and it's human evolution, and it's because we are so smart and so good that we built this. That's not it. It seems like on top of this there was a system that was architected in the minds of a small group of dark beings, meaning their very paradigm of existence is that they want to prove that they can build something better than God has designed.
Right.
These beings get together and in a coordinated effort, both on planet and off planet, through councils of darkness and a hierarchy, they
As described
build-
in the Law of One book.
yeah,
In case you're wondering what the dark hierarchy
through
looks
the
like.
densities.
Yes. Yes.
These beings architect a system that seems to be designed to create a very specific psychological outcome in anyone that is here, including souls that are trying their best to interface with God and to do what is in alignment. They essentially are corralled into a system that's not of their own soul's design. And the
Right.
reason why darkness would have to do that is because their numbers are smaller.
Yep.
So in order to take control over the world, they have to find a psychological manner to bring about their utopia. They need to prove to everyone here and to God that what they're doing is better, but the only way they can do that is through subversion and control, because the souls that are here that are of the majority of light wouldn't naturally build that thing that they're wanting to build.
Right.
That's
Said the channel with his eyes closed.
that. Yeah, with my eyes closed. It's hard to. It's a lot of words. It's a big map.
Yes.
I have to think very hard because I'm very dumb. But I think that's the idea.
Agreed.
That's what I'm understanding from what you're saying. So when I hear you say a reality within a reality, I think of money, I think of jobs,
Yep.
I think of the
Taxes.
traditional path, obligations, even the ideas of like family and friendship and being a good person and left and right and politics and
Mhm.
governance and control and systems and communism and capitalism, and all of this stuff is constructed within base reality, and we think it is reality.
Exactly. Yes, I even feel that way about the traffic lights. Like, I'm like, why the fuck are you going to tell me when I go? Like, why do I go on green? Well, Miriam, it keeps things organized and it keeps traffic moving at the right pace. And they've studied this for years, and they've they take their traffic surveys, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like every little thing.
Does that describe what you're saying? Or
Wow,
what you're
beautifully
thinking?
said Carol.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there more that I'm missing? Throat got all tense. I'm talking about it. Or maybe it's opening up.
You're just opening
I'm just opening my
your throat chakra. So offensive.
Or I'm just phlegmy because I had a gallon of coffee today.
That's
It's one or the
Probably
other.
more accurate.
And like 12 sticks of Airheads last night. So many fucking
yeah?
Airheads. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Well, because I ate it shamefully downstairs before I came up. I know I didn't tell you. I was like, I'm not actively hiding it, but I'm not going to go upstairs and eat this. It's like
That's so funny.
I'm kind of like passive. I'm like, I'm accepting the fact that this is hidden.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Gosh, what do I want to say? Yeah, no, that definitely. I mean, that's better than I can do.
That's
Summing
the feeling,
it up.
though.
Yes, but it doesn't lead me to this place of nihilism. I want to be clear, in case anyone's wondering.
No.
It doesn't lead me there, and it doesn't really lead me. It never leads me to like hopelessness, frustration, maybe, but even that
Mhm.
feels like it's
Mhm.
less. What it does is it makes me realize why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I peer into the bullshit and see it for what it is, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm here. But it does describe it, and yeah, and I think the reason why I see it as like a screen, like the collective field,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that's hijacked by darkness that everyone checks in with when they need to be checking in with God. The collective field will tell you exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you need to do it, and that you're too lazy and not good enough, and all those things. But when I think I see it as a screen, because like I do feel God in nature. Like, it's like God is here. I'm not saying that this place was built by God. I mean, the place was built by Satan or darkness. But I do think
they say that, though. In
Who
all their
does?
books,
Who?
darkness says that they built this place.
No,
in all their
no,
books,
no,
that's their claim.
No.
The councils
They,
of light that are dark built this place. We
What's
all
the
got
thing?
together as a group, and we all
They
built
need
this
to
place
redo
as a
their-
simulation.
They need to redo their bibliography. They have that cited wrong because
Yeah, I know.
I
know,
don't
but
think
they're trying
is
to
that what it's
take
called,
credit for it.
bibliography?
Yeah.
In the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they I don't think that they originally constructed this place.
No.
Because that doesn't track for me. No, because I feel God so much in the mundane, in those little moments that are real.
Yep. But you know what's funny? When I hear those
Outside.
when I hear those beings or I read those beings say that they built this place, I also kind of get it because they built the reality within the reality, right?
Exactly.
Right. So it's like they did kind of build this place.
Yes, they built this.
They did create Earth in a weird sense.
Yes, lowercase e.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But they built something within a thing that was already in existence.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same credit that they take for the buildings in Tartaria.
Yeah.
It's the same founded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Founded in 18 something.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. After
1901. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's It's I don't know why it's so hard for me to talk about, but I think about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels hard to put into words.
Yeah, that's the same way that I see things.
Well, that's good.
It's the exact same way I see things. I mean, I think we're on the same page about most things because we've been talking about these things for over a decade. In the nitty-gritty details across every single little hit that either one of us gets, we talk out for hours and hours and hours and hours.
That's true.
And we've been doing it for like 10 years.
They're not all recorded.
No.
They could be.
And there are many old recordings where we were more retarded that we don't even have up anymore.
Yeah.
They're kind of irrelevant.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, embarrassing and irrelevant. Yeah. We'll say they're irrelevant, but really just because they're embarrassing.
Yeah. Just shamefully.
Yeah.
They're like the airheads.
We're like, the Democrats are a psyop, but I don't think the Republicans are yet. I'm like, fuck, damn it, halfway there. I got 1 foot out of the psyop.
I know, it takes time. It does take time.
It does take time.
It's hard to really grasp how lied to we've been.
Very much so. And there's unbelievable emotional discomfort in even considering the idea that this place is dark. And considering, this is the thing I was noticing with Alex Jones. This is fascinating, watching that interview. And I don't know how much is for show, how much is, I don't. Yeah. It's hard for me to parse. But if I just take everything at face value and just use the movie I watched as a metaphor for actual emotions that people feel, I find it fascinating that the things that AJ grips onto, we call him AJ.
We know him. Our buddy, Age.
The things that AJ grabs onto when they're talking about Flat Earth and Tartaria and all those things, it's things that he uniquely knows about history or that experiences that he's uniquely had. And those are always his things that he brings back up because he was like, what you're saying.
His family, his grandfather.
When they were talking about Tartaria, he was like, well, so what you're saying is that my grandfather, in my family, we have diaries of my grandfather and grandmother and their parents and how there was nothing here. And there's a whole graveyard full of Joneses and I forget what the other last name was, but Joneses and Thompsons or whatever. All of my ancestors and their diaries say that there was nothing here and they built everything. So are you calling them liars? It was interesting.
Mm-hmm. He's so good at improv.
Oh, he's great. He's fantastic. I very much like him as a person. I would hang out with him. I enjoy his banter, his ridiculous.
Wild.
He's so fucking wild.
Controlled.
In all likelihood, I agree. But it's interesting to me. This is the point that I'm trying to make. He is smart because of the things that he knows that other people don't about consensus history and consensus logic. Smart tends to be by collectively agreed definition, not like textbook definition, but collectively agreed definition. You are smart when you know things that other people don't about things that everybody knows.
Right.
Right? About consensus logic. Like, here is the most agreed upon consensus thing, and you know one layer deeper. Like, people know that the Alamo happened, you know when it happened. People know when it happened, you know the generals that were involved. You know the exact name of the battle and exactly where it took place, and you like other little, that's intelligence. But when you start questioning the premise of that history, it's unbelievably threatening.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is you've built your entire neural circuitry and you've dedicated all of this cognitive effort to learning a lie. And you aren't only not smart, you are more of an idiot than everybody else because you've learned more of the stupidness. Like you were more brainwashed. Like it brings you from being smarter than average to dumber than average, right? Like that immediately. And there's an emotional hit to that. And I think there's a big emotional attachment to being intelligent. And when you have that degree of social status, it's very hard to even consider the idea of relinquishing it internally. It's not even about talking to other people.
Right.
It's like just internally, like, no, I'm a smart person because I know these things that other people don't. And it's hard.